Good morning, ET 207 students. This short video is intended just to provide you with some information regarding what's next for you as far as basically end of year exam, what part 2 is going to look like, when you can take that, and then when you can come back retake part 1 if you choose. Remember, you can do very well in this course. You can pass this course with an A without retaking the exam, without being CSWA certified. But that is the mode we use, test 1 and test 2, part 1 and part 2, midterm and final, as our exams. The project, which I talked about in the last video, I talked about the procedures as far as when you can turn in the mid-review, and then when you can, or what format you should really use. Basically the same exact format I'm using right now, Screencastify, any screen capture software where you could, kind of show me what you're capable of and so forth. And again, I don't want to repeat that. It's in the last video, but I do have some concerns. I've only had 4 views on that, 24 students in the course. So you need to get back and make sure you update yourself with regards to the project and how that is turned in. It will be the last full week before exam. So basically the first week of May, that project needs to be turned in. As far as the exam goes, I promised you that I would show you a little bit about preparing for part 2. I already talked about that the assembly is a center of mass type assembly, but I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the 3 drawing questions, and they really relate to the 1 credit course that many of you may have already taken here inside the engineering string at UW Green Bay here. But as of Monday, next week Monday, you'll have 2 weeks to take the test. It'll be available for you. That voucher will be available for you the same way you took the voucher or took the test for part 1, and this is going to be part 2, basically your final exam. And then after that 2-week period, after 1 week of the 2 weeks, actually, your retake for part 1 will be available, and that will be available for 2 weeks as well. So there'll be a 1-week overlap. Let me go through that again. As of Monday, you'll have 2 weeks to take part 2, the final exam. You'll have 2 full weeks to do that. But if you decide to take it in the first week, you'll have 2 full weeks as well to do retakes of part 1 if you choose. And then you could still come back and rewrite part 2 if you needed to, or what have you. But as promised, I'm 2.5 minutes into this. I wanted to show you a couple things with regards to SolidWorks. I'll put myself down in a corner here. You'll have three questions, 3 questions that are 5 points a piece related to drawings. All you need to do is go File, New, Drawing. And when you go into New Drawing, up at the top, once you pick a paper size, will be these different views up here, okay? So projected view, auxiliary view, section view, and so forth. So all you need to do is study these a little bit so you can understand what a crop view is. If you scroll over, it tells you what a crop view is. What is a break view? What is an alternate position view? Know a little bit about those. And also know, and they make no secret about this, that the help menu is open and available to you while you're taking the exam. But you're going to get 3 multiple choice questions, A, B, C, or D. They're going to give you a view, and they're going to say what type of drawing. What type of drawing is this? Is this an alternate position view? Is this a crop view? Is this a break view? Or is this a section view? You're going to look at it and answer that question, move on to the next. There's 3 of those. So again, study those a little bit. I would not rely on the help menu. I would know those well enough so you can answer those 3 questions right quick. It's not a lot of points. I think they're worth 5 points apiece. But if you get all 3 of those right, it does help you significantly. So you're going to have a part that you have to draw that's a little bit more challenging than part 1 in some respects. You don't need to know anything more than cuts and extrudes. You don't need to do a sweep or a loft or a shell or anything like that. Good content, right back to the basics that we started at the beginning of this semester, is fully defined geometry, being able to do cuts and extrudes effectively, and then be able to understand your associativity over on the left-hand side, your feature manager, getting that in order so that, anything that you need to edit is down near the end. So, parent-child relationships aren't messed up in your feature manager is a big part of the part. As far as the assembly is concerned, it's going to be based on center of mass. And again, remember to bring that part in first, the very first part, which is supposed to be the fixed part. Match up those origins by floating it first, creating a mate, and then, hang on, my lights just slid here. Creating a mate, and then fixing that back in place so that when you get the rest of the assembly completed, that you can answer a question based on center of mass. Now remember that it's XYZ center of mass, so you have to be thoughtful of that, and you got to make sure it's fully locked down. So, wiggle and jiggle each time to make sure that you've created enough mates in there, and don't over mate. Sometimes people are going 2, 3, 4 extra mates for each part, and then they have so many mates in there that they can't undefine and then redefine as they need to. In other words, they can't edit it because it just kept locking it down and locking it down. So that's not a good practice either. So, and again, warning one more time, only 4 people looked at the video from last week. That's not good. So go back and look at that. It's going to answer a lot of questions with regards to the final project. This one answers a lot of questions with regards to when you can take part 2, the final exam, when you can come back and take part 1. And this video also gives you some tips and tricks for part 2. And everyone should be able to take that exam and be successful with it. And understand you can do very well on this class if you do well on the project. Many of the points are related to it. We have had hundreds and hundreds of students become CSWA certified over the years. We have an entire wall full of certified students, and that's not nearly all of them. So back to 7th and 8th grade students, high school students, college students, all capable of doing this certification. If you have questions, by all means, email me, and then just keep looking for places to put assignments and so forth and keep up inside of Canvas. All right, that's 7 minutes. Hopefully that's not too much of your time. Talk later. Thanks. Bye.